Hello everyone, my name is Lydia Perez and today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use Read&Write, which is an adaptive learning tool. So Read&Write is an incredibly useful and effective adaptive learning tool because it offers multiple supports and tools that help students access content in personalized, student-centered ways. So as you guys will see throughout the tutorial, Read&Write provides features such as text-to-speech, speech-to-text, vocabulary supports, picture dictionaries, regular dictionaries, translation tools, etc., etc. It just has all these features that help students access content in ways that work best for them. So it is very individualized and personalized. Another really cool thing about Read&Write is that because it is so diverse, it can be used from kids that are just learning how to read and just learning how to write, such as elementary school age children, all the way through adult learners. It is also extremely beneficial for ELLs, students with learning disabilities such as dyslexia or dysgraphia, or students who simply need some extra support. So because of these things, I chose Read&Write to do a tutorial over because it supports adaptive instruction and because rather than expecting every student to learn in the same exact way with the same supports, Read&Write actually provides multiple supports that students can choose from based on their own individual needs and their own learning preferences. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to install it on your web browser. So depending on your web browser, whether it's Windows, Google Chrome, Mac OS, whatever you're using, the very first thing you're going to want to do is go to your web store. So I'm using Chrome, so I went to the Chrome web store. Then I simply searched for Read&Write and I downloaded it. So right here, because I already have it downloaded, it says remove from Chrome. But if you're downloading it for the first time, it'll say download. You'll click on that, it'll download, and it is an extension. So it's not an actual app per se. So once you have it downloaded, you'll simply click on the little puzzle piece icon, whether it's on the left or right side, depending on your browser, and you'll have it right there in your extensions, and it will be installed. Now, depending on whether or not you're using it through a school system or for personal use, that'll depend on your organization. That will affect how you sign in. So since I am using it for personal use, I just had to log in with my personal Gmail and that was it. That was super easy. It was a one-click sign in. If you're using it through your school system or through your administration, you'll log in using your school email. And then once you're all signed in, you'll simply click on the extension and then this toolbar will pop up on the top left side of your screen. And then these are all of the tools that you will have to work with on your screen. So the first tool that I would like to go over is text-to-speech. So text-to-speech is used through these three buttons right here. So the play button, pause button, and the stop button. And essentially, all you have to do is highlight whatever you want to be read out loud to you. You click on the play button, and it will be read out loud to you.
Hawaii became a state on August 20th.
You click on the pause button once you want it to stop, or if you're completely done having it read out loud to you, you click on the stop button, and it will exit you out of that. So this is extremely helpful for students who are struggling with reading fluency or comprehension, especially if you're working with beginning readers. You can have them listen to somebody reading fluently, and they can follow along as they read. It can also be that extra support for English language learners by allowing them to hear correct pronunciation while they are also following along with the text. Another useful feature that it has is text-to-speech. Speech to text, which is essentially the opposite. So to use this tool, all you have to do is click wherever you want it to start writing. You click on this microphone right here, and whatever you say out loud will be typed out for you. So this tool would be extremely helpful for students who have difficulty organizing their thoughts in writing, or students with writing disabilities, or learners who simply are able to express their ideas and opinions more efficiently or effectively through speaking. So this would also come in handy for students who have fine motor skill issues. So for example, I had a student who had trouble with his finger dexterity, so he wasn't able to type and to write independently. But he was extremely smart. He could tell you exactly what he wanted to write. He just couldn't do it on his own. So he relied heavily on his aide or on other students to help him type. But if he was able to use speech to text, or if he had Read&Write, he would be able to be more independent in his own creation, information of his essays or of his schoolwork. in that same sense of accessibility, it also has screen masking, which is this little TV like icon right here. And it creates a sort of filter for students as they read. You can't adjust the size of it, which would be nice, but it does help with students who have issues with focusing or who get overwhelmed with all the words on a page. It becomes more focused for them, so they don't have to be overwhelmed and they don't have to focus on the whole page. They can focus on whatever they want to focus on in that moment, which I think is really helpful. Another really cool feature that Read&Write has is the vocabulary features. So let's say I don't know what the word volcanoes is. There are two types of dictionaries. So there is the regular dictionary, which gives me the dictionary definitions of the word volcanoes, and there is a picture dictionary, which will provide me with images for volcanoes. And it works for all of the words. If it's a word sort of like that, it'll give me an image for that as well, with like arrows and a ball or something a little more abstract, as you can see. So these features are extremely helpful for students who are ELLs, who need that extra support understanding academic vocabulary, or who just need help understanding simple words such as that. Again, this is also really helpful for students who are beginning to learn how to read, or who just need that extra support in academic language and academic content vocabulary. So even if they don't have a disability or are ELLs, any student can benefit from both dictionaries. And if a student needs extra support beyond that, there's also a translation tool, which is right here. So again, if they still don't understand what they are reading, they can click on this, highlight it, click on this, and it will translate it for them. It also has a web search feature. So let's say, again, these images didn't help me, the dictionary didn't help me, the translation didn't help me. I can click on web search and it will automatically Google search it for me, and it will show me what a volcano is. So this could be really helpful for students that are doing research projects or that are just curious about what they're learning. It's an easy way for them to highlight things that they're unsure about or that they're curious about, and it will automatically Google search it for them. Another feature that Read&Write offers is that it will create a vocabulary list just for you. So let's say that I don't know what islands are, or volcanoes, or what an ocean is. So I can highlight all of these. I'm just going to say I'll highlight them all in blue, okay, or yellow, green, pink, whatever combination I want to do with my highlighting. Then if I click on this little circle right here where it says collect highlights, if I click on that, I can select which colors I want to be collected. So since I did only blue, I'm only going to select blue. Then I'll click OK. So while it is collecting my highlights, what it's going to do is it's going to actually make me a document with the words that I have selected. So that will pop up as a new tab over here. Takes a couple seconds for it to do. Okay, and as you can see right here, it has created a list of the things that I have highlighted. And it has my personal email down there, just in case I forget what account I used. Another thing that it will do is I can create a vocabulary list. So if I click on the vocabulary list, again, I'm only going to select blue because my highlights are only in blue. Click OK, and it will start creating a vocabulary list for me. So again, it will take a few seconds for it to do it, and it'll pop up as another tab up here for me. And then, as you can see, it has now created a vocabulary list for me. So the words that I highlighted are right here: islands, ocean, volcanoes. It gives me the dictionary definitions for it, gives me the symbols for it, and it gives me a space where I can write my own notes over the vocabulary words that I have selected. So these features are extremely helpful for students who, again, are ELLs and they're beginning to learn English, and they're beginning to learn all this academic language and all these different words in a language that they don't know. Again, it's also helpful for elementary school age learners that are beginning to learn how to read and are beginning to experience these words. It is also helpful for adult learners because let's say that they're in a training or that they're embarrassed to say, hey, I actually don't know what this word means, or they need a little bit of clarification on what something is. Then they don't have to ask, they don't have to feel singled out or embarrassed. They can simply use Read and Write to either make a list of vocabulary words that they want to go over or of ideas or topics that they want to save. Again, this feature right here, so just making a list of what they highlight could come in handy for if you're teaching an English class or social studies class, math class, and you want them to pick out important concepts or things that they have questions over. And then because it is turned into a Word doc or Google Doc, depending on what system you're using, you can have your students share the document with you as well. So you can take that as a grade, or you can take it as a sort of formative assessment to see what they're having questions on or what they're struggling with. And on the topic of sharing work with your students or with your students sharing their work with you, again, if they're using one of those two features, they can share it directly with you. Or if you want them to actually make a presentation for you or something like that, then right here, they can click on this and you can either put something in here for them as the teacher, or you can have them copy and paste something in here or write a script out or something that you want them to present for you. And they can click right here, click play, and they can record themselves reading or performing whatever it is you want them to perform for you, and then send it directly to you. And this feature is super nice because they get to re-record as much as they want before they send it to you. So again, this feature could come in handy for if you're doing class presentations and you want them to get those jitters out, or if you want students to practice their fluency, or if you want them to give you a verbal description or explanation of a topic that you've been reviewing because you want to make sure that they really do understand what they have been learning. So this system, of course, because I'm using it as personal use, I'm not connected to Canva or Schoology or anything like that, like Google Classroom. But if you are, like if you're using it through your school system, then this can all be linked to your Schoology or your Google Classroom or your Canvas, and your assignments can also be turned in that way. So next, I would like to go over how I would use Read and Write in my own classroom. So because I am an ELR teacher, I would use it to mainly support my ELL learners and to support my students who need that extra help. So for example, students could use Read and Write while reading articles or completing assignments in class. So let's say that my students are all reading an article. My beginning ELLs may use the translation tools, the text-to-speech, the picture dictionary, etc., etc., while my students who are more proficient in English and more advanced would likely use the vocabulary supports and the highlighting features to, pull out pieces of text that they don't understand or pieces of text that stand out to them, or just vocabulary words that they're not entirely familiar with. But regardless of their level of English proficiency or English skills, every student will have some sort of support to help them access, grade level appropriate content, and will have that choice and that independence in their learning, thanks to Read and Write. And there are also many ways that other educators could use this tool as well. So again, English language arts teachers could use it to support reading comprehension and writing instruction, while science, social studies, and math teachers could use it to support their ELLs and even their gen ed students to understand more complex assignments and to grasp academic language. So they could use the text-to-speech features, they could use the vocabulary features. Special education teachers and teachers' aides could use the speech-to-text and reading supports to help provide those required accommodations while allowing their students to not feel smothered and to have that independence while, again, they're learning and they're doing their own tasks. They're not having to rely only on their aid, but they can learn independently. I also think, again, that adult learners would benefit from Read and Write. So let's say that you're a corporate trainer and you have some adults that have to learn from you, but they may be embarrassed to say, hey, I don't know what this word means, or they just need, a picture or visual to know what homophone they're looking at. They could use it, corporate trainers could use it to provide support and scaffolds for workers who might be embarrassed to ask for that extra help. And because Read and Write is sort of discreet on your screen, they wouldn't have to feel embarrassed about using it. They could just have it there, get the support they need, and understand what their trainer has to teach them that day. Another thing that I really like about Read&Write is how easy it is to install, because it is simply an extension on whatever browser you're on. So students could even use Read&Write outside of the classroom. They could use it to review notes, to create study guides, to prepare for quizzes or for exams. They can use it to go over vocabulary words that they need to review, or to just complete assignments, or just in their own personal use if they're reading at home, or they're looking up their favorite sports teams or whatever. Read&Write is super accessible and diverse, which is really neat. So thank you guys for watching my tutorial on Read&Write. I really hope that this was helpful, and hopefully you guys will also use Read&Write in your own classrooms in the future.